I welcome you to my channel. Subscribe and listen to my new stories every day. The air is thick with anticipation as I sit on the edge of our bed, the faint smell of baby powder wafting through the room. My heart races. After years of heartache and disappointment, Laura and I finally have a child. Yet, amidst the joy, an unsettling feeling gnaws at me. David, can you hold him? Laura's voice pulls me from my thoughts. She hands me the small bundle wrapped in soft blue fabric. I look down at the tiny face, so innocent, and I want to feel nothing but love. But a nagging doubt lingers, was I really the father? As if sensing my internal struggle, Laura watches me closely, her eyes searching for something. Isn't he perfect? She asks, her smile radiant, but there's a flicker of something else, a hint of fear. Yeah, he's beautiful. I manage to say, forcing a smile. I can't shake the feeling that there's more to this than meets the eye. Later that night, while Laura sleeps, I find myself scrolling through my phone, the DNA test results flashing in my mind. I had taken the test as a precaution, driven by whispers of infidelity that lingered in the back of my mind for years. The results, shockingly ambiguous, stir a storm of confusion within me. The next morning, I decide to confront her. Laura, can we talk? My voice is steady, but inside I'm a tempest. She glances up from her coffee, a hint of worry in her eyes. Sure, what's wrong? About the baby, I hesitate, choosing my words carefully. I got the DNA results back. Her face pales. What do you mean? You didn't have to do that. I did, because I needed to know. I lean in closer. The test says there's a chance I'm not the father. What? That's ridiculous. She laughs nervously, but I see the truth glimmering behind her facade. It's not zero, Laura. We need to talk about this. Her hands tremble slightly as she sets her mug down. David, please, don't do this now. We just had a baby. Exactly. I deserve to know the truth. The silence stretches between us, thick and suffocating. Fine, she snaps, her voice rising. What do you want me to say? That I cheated? That it was a mistake? I can't process her words. Who is he? She looks away, her gaze fixated on the wall. It was a one-time thing, David. It didn't mean anything. The betrayal hits me like a physical blow. A one-time thing. You've ruined everything. I didn't mean for this to happen. I stand abruptly, anger surging through me. You don't get to play the victim here. You destroyed our lives. Her eyes flash with defiance, but I see a hint of fear creeping in. What are you going to do? The question hangs heavy in the air, and a dark resolve settles in my mind. I'll make sure everyone knows the truth. You won't get away with this. As I storm out of the room, a plan begins to take shape. I'll take revenge, not just for me but for our child. If he's not mine, he doesn't deserve to carry my last name, nor does she deserve the life I built for us. Days turn into weeks, and my resolve hardens. I'll unravel her world piece by piece, exposing her lies and shattering the facade she's crafted. I'll dig into her past, find out every detail about her indiscretion. The more I learn, the more the gears of revenge turn in my mind. I'll make her feel the pain she's inflicted on me. This is no longer just about a child, it's about justice for the betrayal that haunts me. And as I plot my next move, the shadow of my father looms large over everything. How could he? How could he betray me in the most intimate way possible? Watch your back, Laura, I murmur to myself, a chilling smile creeping onto my lips. This is just the beginning. The stage is set, and the real game is about to begin. The sun rises, casting sharp shadows across the floor as I sit at my desk, staring at my laptop. I can't focus on anything except the storm brewing in my mind. The betrayal stings like an open wound, and I know I can't let it fester. I pull up Laura's social media accounts, scrolling through her posts with a sense of grim determination. Each photo showcases a facade of happiness, our son cradled in her arms, smiles plastered across her face. I feel a mix of anger and disgust. She's lying to everyone, including herself. "Hey, are you coming out today?" my friend Jake texts, breaking my focus. I pause before responding. "Not sure. I have some things to handle." "Everything okay?" I hesitate, contemplating whether to share my turmoil. Instead, I text back, "Yeah, just busy." After an hour of brooding, I decide it's time to put my plan into action. First, I need more information about the man who might be the father of my child. I recall a name, Daniel. Laura had mentioned it in passing months ago. I can't let this slip by. I need to know if Daniel is the one who turned our lives upside down. The first step is to confront Laura about him. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the conversation ahead. "Laura, we need to talk again," I say, my tone low but firm as I enter the living room. She looks up, her expression shifting from mild irritation to apprehension. "What now, David? Who is Daniel?" I ask, folding my arms across my chest. Her eyes widen, a flicker of panic crossing her face. "What? Why are you asking about him? I saw a message on your phone. Don't lie to me." She swallows hard, her composure starting to crack. "It's nothing. Just an old friend. An old friend who suddenly pops up after years." "I don't think so. Tell me the truth." The tension thickens as she looks away, avoiding my gaze. "Okay, fine. Daniel is a coworker. We were close a while back, but it's nothing now. Close enough to sleep with?" I shoot back, my voice rising. "I told you, it was a mistake," she snaps, her voice trembling. "I thought we were over, and I didn't think it would matter." "That's rich coming from you," I retort. "It matters to me. It matters to our son." Her face crumples as she finally meets my eyes. "I know I messed up. I'm sorry. I didn't think I would get pregnant." "Pregnant by who? Your husband or your old friend?" As she opens her mouth to speak, the phone rings. It's my father. A wave of unease washes over me. I pick it up, hoping for a distraction. "Hey, Dad. David, I need to talk to you. Can you come over?" His voice is tense, urgent. "Now. What's going on?" "It's important. Just come." I hang up, my heart racing. I turn back to Laura. "I need to go." "Where?" she asks, concern etched across her face. "Does it matter?" "David. Just stay with the baby," I bark, storming out of the house. The drive to my father's place feels like an eternity. My mind races, piecing together the fragments of Laura's betrayal and my father's sudden need to talk. When I arrive, he's pacing the living room, his brow furrowed. "Dad, what's wrong?" I ask, my heart pounding. He stops, turning to face me. "I just heard from someone, about Laura." "What do you mean?" "There's something you need to know. I think she's been lying about more than just Daniel." I freeze, dread pooling in my stomach. "What are you talking about?" "Remember when I told you about my old business partner? The one who had a thing with your mother?" "Yeah. He's been in touch. He mentioned Laura. He said he saw her with someone who looks a lot like me." I stagger back, disbelief crashing over me like a wave. "What are you saying, Dad?" I think she's been with me, David." The room spins, reality blurring. "You? No. That's impossible." He holds up a hand, desperation in his eyes. "I know it sounds crazy, but the timing adds up. You need to be careful." Fury ignites in my chest. Why didn't you say anything before? I didn't want to believe it, but now I'm afraid you might be in danger. Danger? Someone could find out, David. You have to act fast. The realization settles in. My father isn't just a victim, he's part of the chaos that has enveloped my life. I feel the walls closing in, the web of deceit tightening around us. I'll figure this out, I say, my voice low and steady. But Laura won't get away with this. Not anymore. As I drive back home, my mind churns with thoughts of revenge. I need proof. I need to gather evidence against Laura and expose her to everyone, friends, family, anyone who'll listen. I won't let her live in the shadows of her lies. When I walk through the door, I see Laura in the nursery, our son in her arms. I take a deep breath, ready to confront her again. Laura, I begin, my voice calm yet fierce, we need to talk. The game has changed, and I'm ready to play. The house is eerily quiet as I step into the living room, my heart pounding in my chest. Laura is sitting on the couch, our son cradled in her arms, but the warmth of family feels like a distant memory. The tension between us crackles in the air, thick and palpable. David, please. I'm tired. Can we talk later? She pleads, glancing down at the baby. No, we need to talk now, I say firmly, stepping closer. This can't wait. She shifts uncomfortably, her eyes darting to the door as if considering escape. What more do you want from me? Truth. I want the truth. Her lips tighten into a thin line, and I can see her mind racing. What else do you think I haven't told you? I draw a deep breath, recalling my father's words. I know about Daniel, but there's more, isn't there? I heard things. What things? Her voice trembles, a hint of fear creeping in. About you and my father. The color drains from her face, and she glances down at the baby, her composure crumbling. David, that's insane. Your dad. Why would I? Why would you? Because you're a liar, Laura. You think I wouldn't find out? Stop. You're scaring him. She shifts the baby in her arms protectively, her voice rising in desperation. Your actions are what's scaring him. How can I protect him from you? I snap back, the anger boiling over. You've betrayed me in the worst way possible. Her eyes flash with indignation. You don't understand. I never meant for it to happen. It was a mistake, and I've regretted it ever since. A mistake. I scoff, the word bitter on my tongue. This isn't just a mistake. This is our lives, Laura. You let my father, my own father, into our home. I didn't know it would go that far, she protests, her voice breaking. I shake my head, the realization dawning on me like a dark cloud. You've woven a web of deceit, and it's all falling apart. I'm not going to let you play the victim here. She stands, baby in her arms, and steps toward me, desperation in her eyes. What do you want? I'll do anything to fix this. Fix this? I laugh, the sound harsh. You can't fix this. You've ruined everything. The doorbell rings, interrupting our confrontation. My heart races as I wonder who it could be. I can't afford to let anyone see us like this, especially not friends or family. Stay here, I command, moving toward the door. David, please, she calls, but I ignore her. I peek through the peephole and see Jake standing outside, his expression curious. I open the door, forcing a smile. Hey, man. What's up? I thought I'd check in on you. You didn't sound too good on the phone. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of days. He steps inside, looking past me into the living room. Is everything okay? You seem tense. Just some family stuff, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. Nothing to worry about. Jake raises an eyebrow but doesn't push. All right. Just wanted to see if you wanted to grab a drink or something. I hesitate, weighing my options. Actually, can you help me with something first? Sure, what do you need? I glance back at Laura, who stands at the edge of the living room, her expression a mix of anger and fear. I need to gather some evidence about Laura's situation. Jake's eyes widen. What kind of evidence? I lean in closer, lowering my voice. I think she's been cheating. With Daniel, and maybe even my dad. Damn, he whispers, his expression shifting to concern. What do you need from me? I need you to help me look into Daniel. Find out who he is, what he does, and if he has any connection to my father. Consider it done, Jake says, determination flashing in his eyes. Just give me a couple of days. As we wrap up our conversation, I feel a mix of relief and apprehension. I'm taking the first steps toward uncovering the truth, but I know it's only the beginning. After Jake leaves, I turn to Laura, who is now pacing the living room, anxiety radiating off her. You had him come here, she snaps. He's my friend, Laura. He's trying to help me. Help you with what? Destroying our family? No, with finding the truth. I shout, frustration boiling over. You've lied to me for too long. David, I love you. I never wanted any of this to happen. I laugh, a bitter sound. Love? Is that what you call this? You think love includes betrayal? Please, don't do this. Don't push me away. I can change. The desperation in her voice strikes a chord, but I push it aside. You had your chance to change, and you blew it. She takes a step closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. What are you going to do? Are you going to tell everyone? The baby. The mention of our son sends a jolt of clarity through me. If you think I'm going to let you keep lying, you're wrong. I'll do whatever it takes to protect him. Protect him? By ruining my life? By exposing you for who you really are? With that, I turn on my heel, leaving her in the living room. I need to gather my thoughts, to plot my next move. I can't let her manipulate me any longer. As I walk into the kitchen, I pull out my phone, fingers hovering over the screen. I need a plan, and I need it fast. I can feel the storm brewing, and I know it's time to strike back. The clock is ticking, and I won't let Laura slip through my fingers again. The game is on, and she won't see it coming. The night is silent, but my mind is anything but. Every thought is consumed by revenge, every heartbeat pounding with the promise of retribution. Laura's betrayal, compounded by my father's deceit, has left me hollow yet fiercely determined. Tonight, everything changes. I sit alone in the dimly lit room, the blueprints of my plan spread out before me. Jake's investigation into Daniel has provided the ammunition I need. Daniel Thompson, a successful architect with a spotless reputation, is the key to unraveling Laura's web of lies. But there's more. My father's involvement complicates everything, adding layers to my thirst for vengeance. A knock at the door pulls me from my thoughts. I glance at the clock, midnight. Perfect timing. I open the door to find Jake standing there, his expression serious. You ready? He asks, the gravity of the situation clear in his eyes. I am, I reply, stepping aside to let him in. We need to move quickly. Laura won't expect this tonight. Jake nods, pulling out his phone. I've got everything we need. Let's go. We drive in silence, the tension between us thick as we approach Daniel's upscale apartment. My hands grip the steering wheel, nerves coiling tightly in my stomach. This isn't just about exposing Laura anymore, it's about tearing down everything and everyone who betrayed me. We arrive at Daniel's building, a modern structure gleaming under the city lights. Jake pulls out a set of lock-picking tools. I'll handle the door, he says, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through us. Minutes later, we're inside, the sound of our footsteps muffled by the plush carpets. We make our way to Daniel's office, the door ajar. Inside, the room is immaculate, every detail meticulously arranged. Daniel sits at his desk, oblivious to our presence, engrossed in work. "Time to end this," I whisper, my voice cold and resolute. Jake nods and moves to the side, giving me a clear path. I step forward, my heart pounding in my ears. "Daniel Thompson," I announce, my voice echoing in the spacious office. Daniel looks up, surprise etched across his face. "David? What are you?" "Save it," I cut him off, pulling out the evidence, photos, messages, the DNA test results linking him to our child. "You thought you could destroy my life and get away with it. Not anymore." He stands, trying to maintain composure, but the fear in his eyes betrays him. "David, please, let's talk about this. There must be some misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding?" I scoff, stepping closer. "You slept with my wife, possibly with my father. You're the reason I doubted myself for years. Now, it's time you face the consequences." Jake steps forward, his presence intimidating. "You have nowhere to run, Daniel. We have everything we need to expose you." Daniel's facade cracks, panic replacing his initial shock. "You don't understand the repercussions. My career, my family." "Not as much as my sanity," I interject, my voice rising. "You took everything from me. Now, I'm taking everything from you." Before he can react, I grab his phone from the desk, displaying the incriminating messages to everyone in the room. "This ends now." Suddenly, the door bursts open, and Laura steps in, her eyes wide with horror. "David, what are you doing?" she screams, rushing towards us. I turn to face her, my anger palpable. "You're just in time to see how it ends, Laura." She looks between me and Daniel, fear and regret swirling in her gaze. "David, please. I never meant for any of this to happen." "Mean it?" I laugh bitterly. "You mean that while you were carrying a child that isn't mine? While you betrayed me with my father?" Tears stream down her face as she backs away, realizing the depth of the destruction she's caused. "I'm so sorry. Please, don't do this." But it's too late. My resolve is unshakable. "You ruined my life, Laura. Now, I'm ruining yours." I pull out my phone, already dialing the police. "Daniel, you're under arrest for fraud and adultery. Laura, you're going to testify against him. This is justice." As the authorities arrive, Daniel is taken into custody, his protests fading into the night. I watch as Laura is led away, her sobs echoing in the corridor. The man I once trusted, my wife, the people closest to me, are now nothing but sources of my pain and rage. Back at home, the atmosphere is heavy with finality. I stand alone in the nursery, the soft cries of my son a stark contrast to the chaos that has enveloped my life. The child, innocent and untouched by the darkness that surrounds us, is the only thing that remains pure. I sit down, exhaustion washing over me. The revenge I sought feels hollow now, the satisfaction fleeting. I realize that in destroying those who betrayed me, I've also destroyed the remnants of what was once my happy life. The walls I built to protect myself have become my prison, isolating me from any chance of healing. A knock on the door interrupts my thoughts. I rise cautiously, expecting to see the authorities or perhaps Jake, here to support me. Instead, it's my father, his face a mix of remorse and sorrow. "David," he begins, his voice barely above a whisper. I'm sorry. I never wanted it to come to this." I look at him, the man who was supposed to protect me, now another casualty in this twisted saga. "Sorry doesn't fix what you did. You destroyed my trust, my family." He steps forward, reaching out a hand. "Please, let me make it right." I shake my head, turning away. It's too late for apologies. We've both lost everything. With that, I closed the door, leaving my father standing there, powerless to mend the fractures he helped create. I returned to the nursery, holding my son close. Despite everything, his presence offers a sliver of hope, a chance to rebuild from the ashes of betrayal. As I sit there, I make a silent vow. I won't let hatred consume me forever. For my son's sake, I will find a way to heal, to move past the darkness. But tonight, revenge was complete, and the cost was higher than I ever imagined. The final pieces of deception have been revealed, and the lives entwined in betrayal are irreparably broken. Laura and my father are gone, victims of their own choices, and I am left to pick up the shattered remnants of my existence. In the end, the only path forward is one of self-reclamation, free from the shadows of vengeance. And as dawn breaks, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold, I hold my son close, determined to forge a new beginning, away from the pain and deceit that once threatened to consume us all.